The guys pros are using the 23 kilogram bells, 22 kilogram bells, 53 pounds. Erika's in the pro division using 16 kilogram bells, 35s.
Too quiet, you guys make me nervous.
Come on, let's go. Come on, Erika. Let's
You want to hear it first.
Wait.
5 seconds.
You can do it.
Here we go. We're gonna start. 3.
Here we go. Do it.
Colin with the double 44s. See, these guys are almost done. 20 seconds in. Garrin's repping them out. Aissa banging them out. Guys are doing great. Garrin almost done. Colin finished quickly. Aissa's done. Erika working on hers. Garrin done at under a minute. Oh, Garrin's got 2 more. I thought he was done. Erika, coming it up. Almost done. Looking strong. This is a humbling exercise. Very humbling exercise. Erika finished at 113. Garrin done at 117. Good job, guys. She's a beast. Erika's a beast.
God. How'd it go? 121, I think. I didn't know. I did 107 a couple weeks ago. It took a little bit too long in 53, but I think the warm-ups I felt really heavy. Did you do the anyhows yet? My man right here, 131. Set the world record. Leroy did in 156. I thought, okay, that's it right there. Killed it.
Wow, that's awesome.
All right, so we're back. So we're back right now, getting ready for flight 2. Leroy Johnson, Michael Axtell, Janice, Looney, and Shawn, Gregory. I just got down doing the 2 hands anyhow. This is Garrin Clark once again. On the mic with me right now, John Balcazar, somebody who just had to back out at the last minute. Also a lightweight pro competitor. And in my opinion, my superior in this. I was going to be the underdog in this behind him. So Leroy's looking very strong. Once again, this is another exercise that really favors a bigger, stronger competitor, because those 53s aren't going to feel as heavy to him as they did for me. And he's probably going to go unbroken. I suspect he'll be under a minute easy. He's making every man. People are flying through this. Strong. And he comes up and he hits a score of 59 seconds, very fast. So
You did 11.
yeah, so we just need his last score. Well, I mean, so what was the time at the 10th? Okay. So he actually did an extra rep, but and still with an extra rep, still did it like 59 seconds. So probably he's gonna be somewhere around 50 seconds. Yeah, looking really, really good, man. So John, how you doing? How you healing up, man?
Good. I still got a few weeks to go with the healing process, but taking it slow and easy, rehabbing, and hopefully I'll be back to training here very soon.
So you looking forward to the 2014 games? I mean, are you focused on that? What else is going on? What else is going on with you, man?
Well, the big thing for 2014 is the Spartan Death Race.
Now explain that, because when I try to tell people how crazy, you need to tell them how crazy is that? What is that?
It's jumping into the deep end with weights in your ankles in a pool of piranhas while you're bleeding. That's what the Death Race is. It's an ultra endurance obstacle trail mind bending marathon. It basically consists of multiple obstacles which are unknown to all participants. You basically find out as you go along. It started a few years back. I think the first race was 12 hours. Last year they called it, I think it went almost to 70 hours. The year before, 62 hours. It's got about an 85 to 90% dropout rate. And the thing with it is you don't know where the finish line is. Basically, the guys running the race have you just keep going until they feel, I guess, enough people have dropped out. And then at a certain point, they say, at this point, this will be the end. And then who's ever left on the course, those are the finishers. And who's ever in the lead will be the first place, second place, and so on. So just to finish is a big deal with this particular race.
And where's this being held at?
It's in the mountains of Vermont in mid-June. So
I tell you what, I would rather jump in the river with the weights
and
with some piranhas. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do that.
It's interesting. I think it was either last year or the year before. The very first obstacle, they lined them up in a circle, and it was stones on the ground that were anywhere from, I think, 20 to 50 pounds. And you'd have to pick one up, put it down, and rotate to the next one in like groups of 10 in these circles. And that first obstacle lasted, I think, between 6 to 8 hours. So right.
Jeez. So like yesterday, well, if you were here yesterday, I was talking about John, how he runs these ultra marathons, and that's like 60 plus 100-mile marathons. I'm always intrigued with the mental aspect of athletes when they're doing different things. And so what's going through your mind, man, when you're running 60 plus miles? Like, as you run marathons, I'd want to kill somebody after just getting 24 miles. So let alone knowing that you have to keep going for up to 100 miles. I mean, like, what do you think? Is there things that you're thinking about that gets you through that mentally, or what?
There's so much that goes through your mind when you're doing an ultra marathon. The big thing is you just got to keep it preoccupied and not think about what's going on with your body, because when you're doing those kind of distances, lots of things go wrong. You know, in a marathon, you hear the expression, "I hit the wall." Well, when you're doing ultras, you hit multiple walls. For someone who never has hit a wall, it's an unbelievable feeling. I mean, it's different for everyone, but you know, your legs get soft, you get lightheaded, you get nauseated, and that's the point that most people want to quit. So to have that happen to you multiple times throughout a race, you just got to keep thinking of, you know, why are you doing this? There's just so much going on. I mean, you just have to find that, I guess, that happy place to help you push through and just keep going.
Oh man, I kudos to you, John. Man, you're a phenomenal athlete. You're the world's. You've got to be the world's strongest endurance athlete too. You know, for those of you who don't know, like this past year, he actually won his division nationals powerlifting, PR'd, and then right after that, a week later, went and ran a marathon and hasn't ran all year. I mean, who does that?
I do.
John Balcazar does that. All right, so we're under flight 3 of the 2 hands anyhow. And as you see, some people are gonna fly through this and be done in about 30 seconds, and other people have to be a little bit more methodical, and it's a struggle. This is not an easy exercise. Debbie's doing pretty good. Now, she in practice has not been able to curl this side, and look at her. She's stepping up to the plate, but she's gonna take breaks. Up until about 2 weeks ago, she couldn't do a rep at all with her left side. John Lesko, like I said, being very brave, stepping out of the normal realm of kettlebell sports, showing up, doing all this extracurricular stuff, and he looks phenomenal. I mean, you can tell it's not as easy doing this as it is for other events. One more rep. Strong. He's looking fantastic. He's got to curl it, and all he has to do is stand up. That's all he's got to do is stand up. And he fought through. Good, and he made it through.
You can definitely tell he was outside of his comfort zone.
Yeah, and he's a big, strong guy, so that just goes to show you how even technique this is. And I tell you what, personally for me, knowing how little I am with those 53s, I had to start training biceps for this. I mean, a lot of people get away from doing isolation movements, but you know what? Doing isolation movements just for looks, that's one thing. If you're competing in it for aesthetics, if that's your thing, that's your thing. A lot of people in multiple joint function type exercise or sports really shun isolation, but you shouldn't do that, because if your weakness is a bicep curl or a bicep, this is going to hurt you. So therefore, you need to train that. You know what I mean?
There's a lot going on with this movement, and like you were saying, you need to have multiple strengths throughout your body. You have to have the strong legs. You have to have that shoulder strength to hold it up while you're squatting. You got to have that bicep power to curl it, that core strength to keep it all together.
That's
so
right.
It's definitely one of the exercises that really exposes weaknesses when you do have one.
Yeah, that's right. So out of the 6 events, man, I mean, you know, and you last minute had to pull out due to not being able to recover from sciatica, right? You know, what was your strongest event, and what was your weakest event?
I was doing really well with this event right now, the 2 hands anyhow. Last couple times I practiced, I was able to go unbroken right around the minute mark. Last time I did it, which was about 5 weeks ago, I was slightly over a minute with this exercise. So if I would have kept on training coming in today, I think I could have easily gotten in the 45 second mark.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now what's the one you struggle with the most, do you think?
Long cycle.
Damn long cycles. That's how I tweaked my knee. So for me, the last thing coming up is going to be the Monster Mayhem, which I'm normally pretty strong in, but with it having to do with a clean and press type movement, that's what got me yesterday. I'm a little scared. Hey, she actually did 10 reps. She's never done that. So for Debbie, that was an absolute PR. Phenomenal. So in the course and facing, you know, competitions, some people fold and other people just step up to the plate. And Debbie is always consistently one of those people, man, that will step up to the plate
She's
under
a fierce
pressure.
Competitor.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to get her mad. When she's mad, she really gets down. Really gets down. All right, so in this next flight coming up, we have, where are we at here? we have Matt Metzger on 1, Trenisha Fuller. On 3, we're going to have Juanita Evans. And on 4, Steve Stahl. Steve Stahl is the one who actually set the world record in the Turkish Delight, the Turkish Get-Up race. With his overhead alignment as strong as he is upper body-wise, I suspect he's going to put up a phenomenal performance again. Matt Metzger in the Pro-Am division is going to be one to watch in this too. He has great overhead alignment. I was talking about yesterday, he's one of those guys who can actually face forward, not have to turn when you get to the overhead squat. But he's a little shaken from his Turkish get-up set, so if he gets his head right, he's going to be solid in this. If he can't recover from what happened to him in the Turkish get-ups, then he's going to be struggling.
For those of you tuning in late or coming in late like myself, what happened with Matt during the Turkish get-up?
Matt, he's been hitting the 80-pound kettlebell in practice pretty handedly. And then today he struggled. He got up with his weak hand after trying it with his strong hand first for a few attempts, and then he just couldn't put it together with his strong hand. But there a couple little mistakes that he had made was, one of the things I always, when I'm coaching people on this, if you fail in that rep, unless it's early on, if you're at the top and your arm bends, you lose it or whatever else, and you come back down, take 10, 15, 20 seconds
to regroup.
Because if you don't, you're not going to recover enough, and you're going to most likely repeat what just happened. And now a 20-second mishap can turn into literally even a minute-and-a-half mishap. So he kept trying to rush through that, and it was biting him. So.
Yeah, the 80 is a very unforgiving weight. With some of the lighter weights, you can stumble, you can shake a little bit, and still keep your composure and keep that core tight. But the second anything breaks down when you're on your way up or down with that 80, it's unless you're a super heavyweight power lifter, that thing's just gonna go off to the side and fall or just collapse on you. So
yeah, absolutely. Except for if you're Steve Stahl.
Or Leroy.
Steve Stahl actually made Leroy look like a snail. Very, very strong. That's going to give us small guys, John. That made me smile a little bit, my friend.
Is Steve in the pro division?
Yeah, he's right now. He's coming up on lane 4. He's in the amateur division. Very, very strong amateur. So with him using 35s, I suspect he's going to probably knock this out in about 20 seconds. Maybe even like -5 seconds. It might be it'd be so fast we can't even record it.
What facility does Steve train at?
Let's see here. I might have the answer to that. But I believe he's somewhere in Michigan. And I will tell you that. Actually, no, he's not in Michigan. He's from South Bend, Indiana. And the gym he trains out of, Rockstar.
Well, he certainly put on a Rockstar performance.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to
Turkish
Rockstar. Now, how cool would it have been if, Rock Cox would have been from Rockstar? That would have made his name even more epic. Great guy. And I'm pretty sure that Steve Stahl is in contention for first place in the amateur division, men. It's going to be a battle today. It doesn't matter who won yesterday. I mean, obviously, if you pulled yesterday off, it makes it a little bit easier. But this is a completely different day, different events, and most likely the people who were strong yesterday might not be as strong in this. So the standings can change, and most likely they're going to be changing all over the place. Like, I know for a fact in the pro division, going for the dominant male, Leroy was in last place yesterday, but he actually has outshined me and John time-wise in the first 2 events. So now that's putting him in first so far for today.
And that's the beauty of a competition like this. Just because you have a lot of strength doesn't make you the best. Just because you're traditionally a top kettlebell sport competitor doesn't give you the advantage. You know, it might give you an advantage in a specific event,
Right.
but it's not going to give you the overall advantage.
That's right. Everyone's going to have their strengths. Everyone's going to have their
Their
weaknesses,
weaknesses.
for sure. And here we go. And Juanita is looking super duper fast, and she is getting her glutes almost on top of the floor.
Matt's looking real strong too.
That is a John Balcazar-esque squat right there.
That's the grass.
Okay, looks like Matt's recovered pretty well. He's looking pretty solid. Trenisha, very quiet. And as of yesterday, she was in first place in the ladies Pro-Am division.
Steve Stahl just finished up his set in 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Matt PR'd, hit about 45 or something like that. That's not going to be enough to clip Colin. Colin knocked his off in about 36 seconds or something crazy
Unbelievable.
like that. Yeah. Colin, that young man, is just turned 16 years old, has 2 world records in the powerlifting world. And this is his first year of messing around with kettlebells. And actually, he picked up a kettlebell for the first time about 5 months ago. That young man is, if he keeps his head on straight for you're going to be hearing that name.
Incredible to think where he's headed.
Yeah. You're going to be hearing about that young man constantly. All right, once again, if you're tuning in, you're watching International Kettlebell Games 2013, the very first one. This is going to be an annual event. Next year, we're going to have things going to be a little bit different, but actually bigger and more exciting. We have a prelim qualifier being held in Houston, Texas. My good friend Sincere Hogan down there is going to be leading the way next year. It'll be a one-day event, and there'll actually be 4 events in that one day. And then the very next month, we'll have a qualifier back here in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. And the next week or 2, all that information will be on the internationalkettlebellgames.com website. And if you can, please go to YouTube, subscribe to the International Kettlebell Games page, or channel rather, and you'll be able to watch the entire games again. So that could be an advantage, even for if you're like, man, next year I want to do this, and you want to study and see who really did well and watch and mimic their performances. You're going to have access to that. Once again, this is being brought to you by Creation Supplements, fantastic company. Go check them out online. Also, CATS, Kettlebell Algorithm Training System, F3performance-.com. I'm sorry, F3-performance.com. And then also Home Medics. And now we've got, once again, the man, the myth, the legend showing up, Ken Blackburn.
Hey, Garrin, how's it going?
That's going good, man. And some phenomenal performances so far, man.
What do we have so far?
We're on the 5th flight of 2 hands anyhow.
Is that our first music?
No, Turkish Gap was first.
Okay.
World record set, man. I tell you, Leroy, I knew Leroy was gonna be fast in that, and he even the day I did all the Turkish Gaps in 222 or something like that. My best was too flat. He threw up a 156, so he would be even my best. But in the amateur division, Steve Stahl, do you know him from India?
The Beast, yeah.
Dude, a minute 31 seconds.
For 10?
No, the Turkish Gap. He went from the 35s all the way to the 80s and 131. That was unbelievable.
Was it the speed, the transitions, or everything?
Everything. And it made me smile. I had him laugh, and I said, dude, because that's on the microphone. I said, that's going to be in this particular exercise, the bigger athletes are going to have a little bit of advantage if they're athletic.
Yeah.
Because the 35 is going to feel right.
Yeah.
And hey, it's not going to be no difference. Whereas a smaller athlete, that shit's going to get heavy. Right?
Yeah.
So we have to be a little bit more. Man, he blew that away. I was blown away.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you've already thought of this, but maybe you're going to have like a spreadsheet of like, when it comes to the Turkish get up, this is our national record holder.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Because that'll get people so geeked because everybody wants to have a national record.
Actually, what we're doing is We're actually, because we're going to start the International Chemical Game Association. It's world record. So he set the world record. So, but yeah, man. So we'll have all that stuff. But yeah, dude, that was amazing watching that.
Now, when are you up?
Next is the monster, so I'm already done. With 2 hands anyhow. So, Leroy, so today, Galang, struggling. He's behind. He's in third place behind us so far. Leroy taking first so far. He's won. Leroy's taken the first two events.
So Leroy's killing.
Yes.
So how many more exercises do we got? We have the monster and that's
Monster
it?
Mayhem. I mean, Monster Mayhem is next.
Sweet.
Okay, so we're back, and we're underway with Flight 5. So on 1 right now, you're looking at Craig Sylvester. 2 is Maureen Dujardin. 3 is Beth Bomia. And then on 4, we have Agemy. And once again, Craig just looking fantastic. Great alignment. I envy that kind of shoulder mobility. Maureen is struggling a little bit.
And he's really using that compensatory acceleration off the bottom.
Yeah,
Bell
absolutely.
hits, bounces right back up.
Wow, under 40-second performance. Very, very good. And I tell you what's even amazing about that. He's the tallest athlete here.
Big range of motion.
And so you have such a deficit on this exercise as well as the Turkish get-up because you have so much further to travel. He null and void that sheerly by speed and strength and just great alignment. Okay, so if you go all the way to 4, Agemy, I don't know if he did 1 rep or not. You know, the thing is, you know, he has yet to do 1 rep in practice, and we talked about that. I mean, so here's a guy who comes to me, his range of motion is just basically non-existent, and so we've been working really, really hard to kind of bust up the stiffness in his joints, you know. And but he's still out there. He had to get out there and at least make an attempt to get through this. And he did the best he could, so I don't know if he actually pulled off 1 rep or not. I'll have to go over and see, but and that's okay. He gave it, you know, and that's the beauty of this competition. If you have a weakness in something, that's okay. Just be super strong on the other things, because technically within your division, you got to win 4 out of the 6, you know, 4 out of the 6 essentially. So.
Well, with Craig, what he really used to his advantage is he was a master of momentum. At no point did he really give that energy time to stall. He just kept moving.
That's right. That's right. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you recognize the voice, but for the non-kettlebell people out there, it was Ken Blackburn on the microphone now, the owner of the IKFF. And he is literally the true, to me, in my opinion, and many, many others, the legitimate ambassador. I'm going to put it out there worldwide for leading the way for kettlebell sport in general.
Oh, I appreciate that, Garrin. And just a quick correction, Steve Cotter, he's the owner and the founder.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah. Okay,
I don't want Steve to be sitting there in San Diego going, what the hell happened? But no, I appreciate that, Garrin, and I love what you're doing here today. And I was just telling some friends of mine last night that I just love the International Kettlebell Games because it's not rack dependent, it's not grip dependent. So we're seeing some people that may or may not shine in kettlebell sport, but they're absolutely shining today. And this is really a true expression of the work capacity they're capable of. And just to see those folks get some recognition, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And once again, you know, this isn't going to be something that replaces kettlebell sport, not at all, because I love that as well. It's just like I keep using it. It's just another playground for us kettlebell enthusiasts to play in, you know. All right, so coming up next, we have Rock Cox in 1, and he was just flawless yesterday. He's been struggling just a little bit Turkish get-up wise. I think Colin clipped him pretty cleanly earlier in the Turkish get-up. But 2 hands anyhow, you know, he look at those massive arms, man. He is solid. So I suspect that he'll tear this up.
Rock is jacked.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But Colin, I think Colin actually did this earlier in 36 seconds, which is probably the fastest performance today by anybody. But if anybody can get faster than that, it definitely could be Rock. And then on 2, we have Sandi.
Oh my God! So we have like a whole 6 minutes. Wow, that went by so fast.
Oh.
That's so funny. It's ready to go.
So what about you, my friend? How did you do in the Turkish get-up today?
Man, for me, transitions are everything. Like my best time ever in the Turkish get-up or the Turkish Delight Turkish get-up race has been 2 minutes flat. And then I did it again a couple weeks ago, did it in 2:17. The interesting thing was from inside the rep, I was quicker. But the transitions are so important. If you falter in transition, so literally, I work to try to make my transitions less than 2 seconds. So if you take 4, 6, 8 seconds to actually switch bells, you times that times 6 to 12, man, now you're adding like a minute and a half to a minute, even 2 minutes onto your time. So I faltered a little bit in my transitions, and that's what kind of made up the difference. And then, you just once I get to those 70s and 80s, I'm pretty solid with the 70s. The 80s, even though when I'm fresh, I'm really solid, but it's a much different sport when you're actually pre-exhausted by doing 10 other sets.
Absolutely.
So, that's why I had to take my time, and even myself, I know that I'm not going to attempt a Turkish get-up unless I know for sure I can make that rep, because otherwise I can kill too much time. So I was still pretty happy with it.
But like with everybody else, I mean, you're still learning as far as strategy, transitions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a brand new world, and I've only been training for this. Man, and they're already done very, very fast. Very, very fast performance. So it looks like Rock hit about 50 seconds or so, and I know that's gonna make Colin a little bit happy.
So right now, it looks like what is the fastest time so far in the two hands anyhow? Who's really cranked it out the quickest?
I would have to go check the scoreboard, but I'd say Colin at 36 seconds has got to be the fastest. And even in practice, the fastest time I've ever clocked. Because even like Terri Brotz in practice, she's very, very strong, and she's in the amateur division. So for her, 18s is like feathers. But because she has a severe shoulder impingement, she's not allowed to do anything heavier. So even her fastest time was 36 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody can actually go faster than that. Because at some point I think it can only be done so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but that looks like that's about the time to beat. All right, so next up, coming up, we got the last flight in two hands anyhow. We have Billy Jackson, Brian Rose in 2, Nasser in 3, and we have Denise Hanna in 4. It's going to be all amateur competitors.
Now, a lot of people have already kind of, talked to me about this now. Because the International Kettlebell Games has been a great weekend, we're seeing some great performances. I can tell that people are responding in a positive way to the events. What maybe comes next, Garrin? Are you going to start hosting maybe some seminars? Because a lot of people are somewhat new to these lifts, and you got a lot of exercises, so I'm sure people are wanting you to teach a seminar on the different movements, how to train for them, because I see this generating a lot of excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things we're planning on doing very shortly. We're actually going to be starting the IKG Association, and in that we'll be putting on workshops to help with technique, things like that, as well as helping coaches to actually train their athletes for the physical demands of this, because it's a little bit different than training for kettlebell sport, because you can't be so specific, yet you can't let your strengths falter either. So you know what I mean, and you got to pick up your weaknesses and try to maintain, and if possible increase your strengths as well. So the volume of training actually technically might be about the same as training for kettlebell sports. Mm-hmm. It's just different because you have to get in 6 different techniques. I will say this going forward, there's next year in the finals, the first day pretty much going to be a staple. The second day, the 3 events could be completely different.
Oh, nice.
So, but the thing is, in all fairness to all athletes, those events will be announced way beforehand so people can practice it, so you won't be surprised, you know what I mean? The next thing you know, you're talking about, doing something new that could cause you to be injured. But we're going to have, at some point it could be 20 different exercises, and then it just might be a thing where, okay, this particular event is going to be this, this, and this. I know that, for the qualifier in Houston, April 5th, down in Sincere's place, he's got some crazy exercises planned, and I'm very, very excited about that. I don't know if I'm going to actually compete in that one or compete in the one here, but I'm very intrigued with what he has going on.
Now, rumor
with some
is he's
kettlebells.
actually configured a way to bring Zumba into the second day. Is that true?
If I know Sincere,
He might be calling it capoeira, but it's Zumba. Sincere, if you're listening, man, we love you.
And I can hear him right now. He's got that really cool voice, so he's probably going, yes. Yes. That's my Sincere impression. Yes, that is absolutely right.
Yeah, Sincere's voice is pretty much like Denzel Washington and Ric Flair had a baby.
If I was a chick, I'm just saying, if I was a chick, you know what I mean? But I'm not, so I'm not going there.
And now a word from our sponsors.
All right, so here we go. Oh, and Billy struggles right away. Now, it's interesting with Billy. 3 weeks ago, he couldn't do 1 rep. This past week, he came in the gym and flipping went through 10 reps in like 40 seconds. So I keep saying it. What Billy lacks in technique, he makes up for in brute strength. So he's not the cleanest competitor, but man, when he dials it in and he just focuses that mind, man, he's amazing. He's also, I believe, an all-state wrestler, and he's also a wrestling coach as well as a track and field coach and school teacher.
Yeah, you can absolutely see that mental toughness.
Yeah, very much so.
Give that technique time to evolve. He'll be one of the top guys.
And Brian Rose, I'm pretty sure was under 40 seconds. I know he wasn't really happy with the circus. He got upset, but he did fantastic. Billy finished, but he didn't get as fast as he wanted to. I know he was trying to eclipse Colin. So I tell you, that semi-pro division for the men, just with inside the division, is loaded, and the guys are just, man, they're counting points, they're doing everything. What a fast set. All right, that was the last heat, so now guess what? I got to dump off this mic and get ready for the monster set, and this is going to be epic. I need all the love and support out there because yesterday the clean and press is where I tweaked my knee, and it's even though I'm not having pain right now, it's not swollen. It's not completely stable. So, man, it's going to be epic. I'm a warrior, though. I'm going to get out there and give it the best I can. And next up.
All right, we'll be rooting for you, my friend.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Ken.